scene, investigators find the bodies of 3 naked boys lying on their backs in a 2-foot deep ditch.
They're smudged with dirt and blood. The oldest boy appears to have been slashed 14 times in the head with what appears to be an axe or a hunting knife. The other 2 boys have been struck in the face with what appears to be the flat part of a knife.
I don't think anyone is ever prepared to see a sight like that. 3 kids dead, dumped in a ditch. The fact that they're naked makes it much more shocking and raises the question, is this a sex crime? Many are convinced it is.
In spite of the more visible wounds, marks on the victim's body suggest their cause of death to be strangulation.
Marks on the victim's necks suggest strangulation by bare hands in the case of the 2 youngest boys, and a cord or a rope in the case of the oldest. They've been dead since Sunday night.
The coroner, Walter E. McCarran, theorizes about the dirt and marks on the bodies.
At first, the boys are bound and gagged with adhesive tape and held captive in a filthy place. Later, they are dumped in the forest.
McCarran believes they're transported to the forest in a vehicle of some sort.
Marks on the backs of Anton and Robert suggest they were lying on a rubber mat in the rear of a car. Anton's back also exhibits burn marks which might be made from dragging him across pavement.
While examining the 3 bodies, investigators notice a tire track on the ground. They call a forensics team to the crime scene.
Investigators make a plaster cast of a tire track in the parking area near the ditch and send it to the crime lab for comparison.
Surprisingly, the examination of the bodies shows no signs of molestation, which is contrary to what the investigators were expecting.
If it's not a sex crime, what is it?
Sadly, for all confirmed, the victims are identified as Robert Peterson, John Schuessler, and Anton Schuessler Jr., leaving their families inconsolable. At the morgue, Anton Schuessler Sr. cries out and collapses when he sees his sons. Malcolm Peterson sobs quietly while identifying his son's body and says, "We were more like buddies than father and son. He was a good boy." Robert Peterson is the oldest child of Malcolm and Dorothy Peterson. He has 3 siblings. His dad works as a carpenter, and the family of 6 lives comfortably in their home on the northwest side of Chicago. Robert loves sports, especially baseball. He plays in the Pony League in nearby Norwood Park. Robert attends James B. Farnsworth Elementary School, where he is in grade 8. John and Anton Schuessler Jr. are the only children of Eleanor and Anton Schuessler Sr. They live in the brand new bungalow on the northwest side of Chicago. Anton Sr. loves his sons more than anything. He says, "They are my life." Like their friend Robert, they attend James B. Farnsworth Elementary School, where John is in grade 8 and Anton is in grade 6. All 3 are good students whose work is described as average or better. On Sunday, October 16th, 1955, shortly before 3 p.m., John and Anton Schuessler bike over to their friend Robert's place, which is about 7 blocks away.
It's the first time their parents are allowing them to go into downtown Chicago on their own, and they're excited to take in a movie.
Chicago is the largest city in the American Midwest. Founded in 1830, it quickly grows into an industrial metropolis. By the 1950s, factory jobs are leveling off, and more people are moving to the suburbs. Still, downtown Chicago has a lot to offer. Restaurants, movie theaters, bowling alleys. It's a vibrant and exciting place to be, especially for 3 kids from the Northwest Side.
The Northwest Side is a place a lot of people call home. A lot of families live there. It's friendly, safe, and community-oriented.
For many, there's a general feeling that Chicago in 1955 is a place where the streets are safe for children to play and explore. And the parents of John and Anton Schlussler and Robert Peterson likely feel the same way.
The 3 friends leave the Peterson house approximately 3 p.m. They have a total of $4 between them, which is enough to cover the cost of a movie at the Loop Theater downtown.
The film starts at 4 p.m., but investigators can't confirm if the boys actually go there.
Their first known stop is at the Garland building at 111 Wabash Avenue, which is only a 4-minute walk from the Loop Theater. Robert Peterson signs in at 6 p.m. in the lobby. It's possible he's there to use the bathroom.
Witnesses place the boys at the Monte Cristo bowling alley at West Montrose Avenue sometime between 7:15 and 7:45 p.m.
The witnesses describe them as wearing jeans and baseball jackets. One guy asks them if they're going to bowl, and they answer, "Not unless you're going to pay for it."
The manager of the Drake bowling lanes, also on West Montrose Avenue, remembers seeing the boys at his place around 8 p.m. They don't bowl, and they only stay a few minutes. They're also spotted at Garden Bowling Alley on North Milwaukee Avenue at 8:40 p.m.
The bowling alleys are a fair distance from the theater and Garland building, 8 or 10 miles away. That's too far to walk. So how are they getting around without money?
Several witnesses report seeing the boys hitchhiking. One even remembers giving them a ride.
A bus driver remembers dropping the boys off on Lawrence Avenue at 8:52 p.m. They're later spotted on the corner of Lawrence and Milwaukee. Anton is standing with his thumb out, while the other 2 boys wait in a doorway several feet away.
Each witness seems to place them closer to home. Lawrence in Milwaukee is only 2 miles from Robert's house. But unfortunately, there are no more sightings of Robert, John, and Anton Jr. that night.
Based on their stomach contents, they are killed between 9:30 and 10 p.m.
Their bodies are most likely dumped in the forest on Tuesday morning, tossed from a vehicle like sacks of potatoes.
Even the most seasoned detectives agree that this is a shocking crime.
There's no clear reason or motive. Who would have done this to 3 innocent boys?
Coroner Walter McCarran offers up 2 theories about the killer.
Is it the work of a madman, or possibly a gang who abducted the kids for fun and then became fearful of getting caught?
Either way, if the murders of Robert, John, and Anton are the result of a random, unmotivated attack, they could prove very hard to solve.
With Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Don't worry, help is on the way. With any of Life Alert's 3 emergency systems, help can be summoned immediately, and batteries never need charging.
I was having a stroke, and I was scared to death.
If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
Life Alert is a lifesaver.
My husband is alive because of Life Alert.
Life Alert is the lifesaver to keep me out of assisted living.
Life Alert saves a life every 11 minutes.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-686-6413. That's 1-800-686-6413. Call now. 1-800-686-6413.
Imagine making premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Introducing Bartesian. Simply insert the capsule, select your strength, and enjoy. Shop for Dad and get $50 off at Bartesian.com/dad.
The windows come down. The shoes go off. Sleeves go up. The coast is there with open arms. Leave it all behind and settle in. Peter Millar.
I was never able to find a bra that fit my small chest. Every bra gave me gaps or made me feel like I wasn't enough. It was something society taught us to be embarrassed about. Small-chested women deserve better. So I designed a bra that finally fits AA to B cups perfectly, and a brand that empowers women to celebrate their bodies exactly as they are. No more cup gaps or looking 2 sizes bigger. It's not your body that has to change, it's the industry. Meet Pepper, the bras that actually fit small boobs. Check us out at wearpepper.com.
Calm. Download the free app now.
When you get approved with Drive Time, you get the real deal.
It's the Drive Time Real Deal Maker. It lets you customize the real down payment and monthly payment of the car you want to buy.
That's super smart. And the deal you make on your phone is the deal you pay. You make the deal yourself.
Get the real deal at drivetime.com.
This is not a dryer sheet. Earth Freeze is a new type of laundry detergent that looks like this. It's also so easy to use, dissolves quickly in any wash, and my personal favorite, no plastic jug. Learn more at earthfreeze.com.
My doctor told me I needed to start prioritizing my liver health.
Dose for Your Liver is a clinically backed supplement that supports healthy liver function.
My stomach feels a lot better.
He has more energy. He sees his grandkids more.
Start your liver health journey today at dosedaily.co. Guys, it's like Dave was made for me. No drama, no games.
Who? Oh, I know Dave.
The best?
Let me see a pic.
A banking app?
The banking app for everyday people.
Dave gives you what those other guys don't.
There's no overdrafts or late fees.
You could get extra cash when you need it.
Okay. I'm with it.
I think I found the one.
There's an easier way to bank and get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less when you download Dave.
Spot Pet insurance plans help pet parents focus on the moments that matter and worry less about unexpected vet bills. From puppyhood and beyond, Spot can cover up to 90% of eligible vet visits. Visit spotpet.com to get a free quote.
Looking for a way to stretch the dollar? With Insurify, you can cut your car insurance bill in half. Scroll through dozens of prices and tap to switch online. That's it. No phone calls and no wasted time. Go to Insurify and save today.
On Sunday, October 16th, 1955, Robert Peterson, John Schuessler, and Anton Schuessler Jr. leave their homes on the Northwest Side to see a movie at downtown Chicago's Loop Theater.
It's the first time their parents are allowing them to go into downtown Chicago on their own.
The boys don't come home that night and seem to vanish without a trace until their bodies are found naked and lifeless in a forest ditch.
I don't think anyone is ever prepared to see a sight like that.
Their families are devastated. Investigators believe it's the work of a madman, or possibly a gang. But the motive for the killing remains unknown, and there are no obvious suspects. On Wednesday, October 19th, 1955, investigators launch a massive search involving 100 people, 50 of which are members of the military.
The plan is to search the forest all around where the three boys were found, looking for evidence.
Anton Schuessler Sr. and Malcolm Peterson take time off work to help in the search for clues.
The team gathers up a vast array of possible clues, things like a black rubber mat from a car, fragments of 2 pairs of blue jeans, a leather glove, a stained and torn t-shirt, a piece of cotton underwear, and a man's blood-stained coat.
Other items sent to the crime lab include the 12-inch long piece of rope and a length of wire about a yard long.
None of these items provide any definite leads.
On October 24th, 1955, Police Commissioner Timothy J. O'Connor puts together a 50-person unit to handle the case. On the same day, the first possible suspect emerges.
A 55-year-old man who works in a candy store near the Peterson home walks out of his apartment, dressed in his best clothing, and vanishes. He leaves behind all of his belongings and his pet dog.
To some, this feels like more than a coincidence. Investigators spend many hours trying to track the mysterious man down. But he is nowhere to be found. On October 26th, 1955, police hold 5 male suspects for further questioning into the murder of the 3 boys. They give the 5 men lie detector tests. One of those 5 men is a 33-year-old named Charles Dahlquist. A married couple remembers seeing him under a bridge with Anton Schussler on July 15th and are asked to pick him out of a police lineup.
They give Dahlquist 3 lie detector tests, all of which are inconclusive.
With no positive results from the lie detector tests, none of the 5 men are implicated in the crime, and they all are let go. Investigators are also on the hunt for a bushy-haired man who Robert's father sees talking with youngsters in a pool hall the night of Saturday, October 22nd.
The suspect flees when Mr. Peterson tries to question him.
The investigation seems to finally heat up when an old blue car is found abandoned on the southwest side of Chicago.
Witnesses recall seeing a car like that in the Robinson Woods just a few hours before the discovery of the 3 bodies.
Inside the abandoned car are 3 pairs of blue jeans, which are what the victims were wearing the night they disappear. There is also a white flannel shirt, which might be a match for Anton's.
Investigators send the clothing to the lab for proper analysis. Unfortunately, the Petersons and the Schusslers agree that these clothes do not belong to their children. A month after the murders, Anton Schussler Sr. dies of a heart attack while receiving treatment for depression, brought on by the death of his sons.
Everyone who knew him or knows the case seems to agree. He died of a broken heart.
Eleanor Schussler now grieves the loss of her entire family and faces economic ruin as she's left without income and a significant mortgage to pay. The Chicago Tribune encourages readers to send contributions. With the case seemingly at a standstill, Mrs. Schussler and the Petersons allow the bodies of their sons to be exhumed.
There could be any number of reasons to exhume a body: new technologies, new techniques, or just a feeling that something might have been missed the first time. In this case, the main objective is to take scrapings from the toenails and fingernails to find more traces of the rare metal found during the original autopsy. A good enough sample could lead to the plant or factory where the killer works.
The exhumation pays off when tiny grains of that metal are revealed.
The examiner also finds traces of a powerful insecticide and bone meal in the wounds on Robert's scalp. This could suggest the weapon is something like a handheld gardening rig. The strangest revelation is the evidence of hay in the boy's lungs.
How these things go together is unclear, but an intensive search of metalworking establishments, as well as golf courses, greenhouses, florist shops, and parks within a 400 square mile area yields nothing.
These things could be found in a fertilizer used by any private homeowner.
None of it leads to a viable suspect. The case goes cold.
Are you an expert at uncovering mysteries? June's Journey is the hidden object game where a sharp eye is your tool to spotting clues and exposing the truth. There's a detective in all of us. June's Journey. Download now for free.
At Consumer Cellular, we pride ourselves on getting you the exact same nationwide coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. But don't worry, we've got a lot more than that going for us. Woo! Like this beautiful store in Arizona, for example. It's the perfect place for me to tell you a little bit more about our phones and how they can become your phones. You name it, we probably got it. We have the top smartphones from all the major companies. If it's state-of-the-art cameras you want with space-age metal housing, we got them. If you want a smartphone with lots of bells and whistles but won't break the bank, we've got that too. We even have flip phones like the Iris Flip. If you're someone that doesn't need all that mumbo-jumbo and just wants something simple. And now, we even have watches.
We do.
No matter what device you choose, you'll be happy to know that if your data needs change,
No problem.
with our Smart Flex feature, you don't have to sweat it. Like say you're on a road trip out west and end up using a bunch of data. We can simply flex you up to the next data tier for as little as $5. Then, when you get home, you can flex right back down with no penalty, so you only pay for what you actually need.
With Consumer Cellular, you get the exact same nationwide coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost.
I know what you're thinking. What if I don't have one of these amazing stores in my town yet? Can I get these phones sent to me?
Yes, you can.
Will our award-winning customer service help me switch over or add a line for $15 to make my own family plan?
Of course they will.
Is it easy?
Easy as pie.
See that tower out there? It's a beauty. And there are thousands more like it, working hard for me and you, supplying 5G coverage to this beautiful nation of ours. We know how important coverage is. That's why we offer a risk-free guarantee. If you're not satisfied within 30 days of activation, you can pay nothing. Oh, look.
And for a limited time, new customers get their second month free. Call 800-311-5340. Find us in Target or visit consumercellular.com to switch today.
She knows what she's talking about. Pick up the phone.
What happens when a fire breaks out in your home? Do you use a fire extinguisher and blast dry chemical powder all over your kitchen? This is the emergency fire blanket by Prepared Hero. The emergency fire blanket is just as effective as a fire extinguisher, but it's easier to use and it leaves no mess behind and can be reused over and over. Just pull it out of its pouch and toss it on a fire. It's that easy. When you want to feel confident and safe in your own home, use the emergency fire blanket from Prepared Hero.
We've all done the smell check.
Trust me, I'm good.
Claire V targets vaginal odor at the source. Claire V, long-term relief from vaginal odor, itching, and discharge. Try it at clairev.com.
My friends call me Zam. I naturally hold a lot of stress in my digestive system, as a lot of women do. When I travel, I get constipated, I get really poop shy. When I started taking DSO1, I immediately noticed how much lighter I felt, vibrant, alive. It really helps me stay regular, and you're not bloated at all. I honestly recommend DSO1 to everyone.
Poshmark is the perfect side hustle. It got me through school, a new job, and getting into my first apartment. There's so much I can sell. Bags, accessories, home decor, and it's so easy to sell on Poshmark. You can do it in a minute. I love it.
We're excited to do business with you, but before we sign, I gotta ask.
Sure, anything.
We searched you online, and maybe you can explain this?
Can't believe that garbage is still coming in. That is so false.
Frustrated with your online search results? Call Reputation Defender today to join tens of thousands who've improved their online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. or call 1-877-866-8555.
We're giving away this 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath in the heart of the Ozark National Forest. You can win this cabin or $1 million cash.
Go to onecountry.com today. Sign up.
I was always skeptical of credit cards, but I also know it's the best way to build your credit. As an entrepreneur, that's essential. So I got the Chime Credit Builder card. There's no annual fee, no interest, and no credit check. My score's gone up over 100 points. Check it out at chime.com.
To prove that there is such a thing as free money, we gave people a little sample of Ibotta.
Hi, would you like to try a sample? What is it? Ibotta.
I can just take this. Is this real?
Yes, you're not allergic, right?
Get cash back every time you shop with Ibotta.
Coming up next on True Crime Network. The naked, lifeless bodies of Robert Peterson, John Schuessler, and Anton Schuessler Jr. are found in a forest ditch on the outskirts of Chicago.
I don't think anyone is ever prepared to see a sight like that.
Their families are devastated. Months of investigation by a task force that includes 50 people yield many clues, but no solid leads or suspects. The grieving families give permission for the bodies to be exhumed and examined for further evidence.
There could be any number of reasons to exhume a body. New technologies, new techniques, or just a feeling that something might have been missed the first time. In this case, the main objective is to take scrapings from the toenails and fingernails to find more traces of the rare metal found during the original autopsy. A good enough sample could lead to the plant or factory where the killer works.
They find traces of rare metal, pesticide, bone meal, and hay in the boy's lungs. None of it leads to a viable suspect. The case goes cold. It's now 1 year after the murders, and investigators are disappointed that they still have no solid leads. The Special Investigative Unit welcomes a new leader, Lieutenant Joseph Morris, the third to hold the reins since the investigation began.
He is determined to solve the case. He says it may take a month, a year, 5 years, but it will be solved.
In the meantime, all the stress and pressure is taking its toll. While working on the case, 3 members of the Special Investigative Unit suffer heart attacks.
Stress can cause serious health problems, including heart attacks.
The 3 officers all recover, but are reassigned to other, less stressful cases. It's now 2 years since the murders, and investigators are still striving to get justice for the families and their murdered sons. The Petersons hold a night of devotion in their home. Eleanor Schuessler has remarried and is now Eleanor Kujawa. She still grieves for her sons. She says, "I'm always hoping they find who did it. That's one of the things I live for."
But the hopes seem to get slimmer as the time passes.
3 years later, since the murders, there have been no significant developments. The Crime Detection Institute is a civic group in Chicago. The Crime Detection Institute has been offering $100,000 for any information that can lead them to the killer. Today, they announced they are withdrawing that reward. The reason? They say that the crimes appear now to be insoluble. In 1960, a ray of hope breaks through. While digging through old files, detectives notice something intriguing from the days leading up to the murders.
On October 8, 1955, Robert and John, like everyone else in their class, fill out a questionnaire. Among the many questions is the usual one. Do you know anybody who is trying to hurt you?
stranger than the question itself are the answers that Robert and John give. They both say yes.
John and Robert are the only kids in their class who answer yes to that question. And 8 days later, they're dead. That's an unbelievable coincidence.
The school informs police about the unusual yes answers, and investigators attempt to question all of John and Robert's classmates.
The issue with questioning 13 and 14-year-olds is that their parents must be present in the room. Teenagers don't always want to tell the whole truth in front of their parents. Some parents might even advise them not to get involved.
Investigators question 50 students, but no useful information is collected.
Now, 5 years later, all those kids are adults. They might be more willing to talk.
The hunch pays off, as many former classmates recall Robert and John being afraid of someone. Detectives are convinced that those boys knew their killer or killers. And more importantly, that the killer is still on the northwest side of Chicago.
5 years is a long time to keep an investigation alive. But thanks to the new information, the mystery of who killed Robert Peterson and John and Anton Schuessler could finally be on the verge of being solved.
A better banking app is right at your fingertips. Download Dave, and you could get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less, right through your phone. There's no interest, no credit checks, and no late fees. Because getting help shouldn't set you back. Switch to the banking app made for you, and you could get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less. Download the Dave app now, or go to dave.com today.
As you get older, your liver health becomes an increasingly important part of the aging process. We created Dose for Your Liver to make taking care of your liver easy. Dose is an organic blend of liver-supporting ingredients and is clinically backed to promote healthy liver function so that nothing's holding you back.
This is Bella. Bella can do a lot on her own, but she can't get first-rate pet insurance without you. Sign up for ASPCA Pet Health Insurance today to protect the ones you love.
If you're buying traditional liquid detergent, chances are you're buying a lot of water. And don't even get me started on the plastic. Instead, join the many other people who have already switched to EarthBreeze Eco Sheets. It's time to make the switch at earthbreeze.com.
Wow, is that really me? Oh my gosh. Wow. Who am I?
Oh my God. I can't believe I have no lines in my face.
I'm just in love with the mirror right now.
It's a facelift in a jar.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Greenhut, the CEO of Plexiderm. We've created the best offer yet with our Memorial Day Plexiderm 10-minute challenge. All it takes is 10 minutes to reduce the appearance of under-eye bags, wrinkles, and crow's feet. People across the country look and feel years younger in minutes.
Here, I don't look 61 in 3 weeks, and this is only because of Plexiderm.
Holy like I look 15 years younger. The instant results are from naturally based silicates. Once applied, your skin tightens and firms, rapidly reducing the appearance of under-eye bags and wrinkles in minutes. So if under-eye bags and wrinkles make you look tired and older, try it this Memorial Day for only $14.95 plus get free shipping.
Introducing Weight Watchers Clinic.
Our team of doctors will help you find the right medical weight loss plan, including medications if appropriate, with ongoing support from our nutrition and fitness experts.
The care you deserve from the brand you trust.
They're called Shynasty hammock underwear. Soft, sweat-wicking, breathable underwear with a supportive pouch built in. You don't realize you need new underwear until you try these. Love your first pair or they're free. Upgrade to hammock underwear at shynasty.com.
Ready for a summer plot twist? True crime is changing up the schedule.
Holy crap!
More mystery.
She just vanished.
More suspense.
Everybody is a suspect.
And more variety. This summer on True Crime Network.
For 5 years, there have been no serious suspects in the murders of Robert Peterson, age 14, John Schuessler, age 13, and Anton Schuessler Jr., age 11. Police believe that the two oldest boys may know their killer.
On October 8, 1955, Robert and John fill out a questionnaire. Among the many questions is the usual one: do you know anybody who is trying to hurt you?
Stranger than the question itself are the answers that Robert and John give. They both say yes.
John and Robert are the only kids in their class who answer yes to that question. They question 50 former classmates and friends in the hope of figuring out who it is.
Unfortunately, after weeks and months of further investigation, all new leads come to nothing. In 1966, Sergeant George Murphy, the officer at the front desk when the boys were reported missing, the one who takes the call that gets the entire investigation started, retires after 37 years on the force. Again, the case files gather dust, but while working on another murder case, that of wealthy stable owner George Jane, State Police Officer Lieutenant David Ham goes through a box of reports.
The box is full of detailed reports on prime suspect Silas Jane, who is George's brother and his associates, one of whom is the guy named Kenneth Hansen.
Kenneth Hansen works for Silas Jane at Idle Hour Stables, and the two are reputed to have a very close relationship.
The weird thing is that amongst all the reports about Silas Jane, there are a few that reference the 1955 murders of Robert Peterson, John Schuessler, and Anton Schuessler Jr.
Why they're in there isn't clear. But after carefully reading all of the reports, Lieutenant Ham starts to suspect that the Idle Hour Stables is where the boys were killed. On February 8th, 1971, Lieutenant Ham brings in Kenneth Hansen for questioning. Kenneth refuses to talk about George Jane, so Lieutenant Ham takes another approach.
He asks Kenneth about himself, his time in the Army, and his experience in the horse business. Surprisingly, Kenneth opens up and talks.
He learns that Kenneth is from Chicago's Northwest Side, and that he has a long history of working with horses, including at Idle Hour Stables in 1955.
Kenneth has no idea that Lieutenant Ham is interested in the murders of the three boys. He thinks that it's all about the George Jane murder. He talks openly about everything except George Jane.
Police think there is a connection to the George Jane murder case. Playing a game of cat and mouse, Lieutenant Ham is careful not to tip his hand as he gathers as much information as he can that could connect Kenneth to the murders of the three boys.
He does a good job, but unfortunately, there's not enough to prove anything.
Ultimately, Silas Jane and a couple of other men are convicted of the murder of George Jane, which is said to have been the culmination of a bitter feud between the two brothers over competing interests in the show horse industry. All charges against Kenneth Hansen are dropped. As for the murders of the three kids in 1955,